Hello everyone. Today I've got 3 more fantastic indie horror novels for you to check out. These are ones you're going to want to read. They're all bangers by authors you might not have heard of before. And I love indie horror because it gives you a chance to check out new authors and new stories, things you might not otherwise read. And as a reminder, I have horror books for sale, and you can check out the books you see on your screen at the link in the description. Be sure to check out my Patreon if you're interested in that. There's only 1 tier, and every month you'll get free short horror stories from me and a whole bunch of other goodies that are coming. So be sure to check out the page and see what you can get. And don't forget to check out your Read More Horror t-shirt. There are many colors and sizes available. There's a link down below for that as well. All right, let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about today is called A Dark and Secret Place. This one I got because the author announced over on Twitter, I believe, or maybe it was a horror book group on Facebook, or whatever. He said, hey, my book is going to be free for the next couple days. If you want to check it out, go ahead and get it for free. And of course, I'm always down for that. So I downloaded it. I just got to reading it, and man, this one is fantastic. It's 470 pages, which I know to a lot of people that sounds like, oh my God, I don't know if I can read a long novel like that. But trust me, this book is so intriguing, it's so engaging, and it really pulls you into this world and this environment that it's worth every single page. I absolutely love this book. And basically, it's a small town horror novel set in a town called Duckett. And there's a lot going on. There are several character arcs throughout this book, and they will all eventually come together for the very bloody, horrifying, out of left field conclusion. Wait until you read that. Of course, no spoilers for that here, but yeah, it's pretty terrifying. But there's a house in this town. It's called the Murder House. Like a lot of small towns, there's a lot of legend and lore surrounding this house. When a family finally buys it after being empty for a very long time, this family comes from the city. They want a small town life, get away from the hustle and bustle of the big city. So it's a man, his wife, and their young daughter. And at first it appears as if this house just might be a standard haunted house book. They start hearing noises, footsteps. They see shadow figures running around outside of their vision. The closet doors opening, the basement door opening when they know they closed it. Just things like that. But this is going to get much more worse as the book goes on. It is not just about a haunted house. Some very malevolent, vicious things are going to happen to that family. And this takes place, most of it, within this gated community of this town called Duckett. And there are other things going on in this town. Some of the characters and some of the story arcs concern teenagers, so it's almost like a coming-of-age story. There's a budding romance between 2 of the characters in there, and we are going to dive into their lives and what these people are like and the things they are feeling and experiencing. But even inside this gated community, besides this house, there are other things happening, and alarming amount of missing pets, dogs and cats and other animals that are just gone missing. There's talk of a creeper around the area, a peeping Tom hanging out outside people's houses. People will report somebody's inside of their house, but when the security guard goes to check it out, they can never find anything or any kind of presence. But everybody knows something weird is going on there. And just like with this house, these events that these other people are experiencing are going to become increasingly more terrifying as the story goes along. And the thing I really like about this is that, I love small town horror as it is, but this is like inside this gated community, so it feels even more smallish, I guess you can say. And although these characters most of them do not know one another at the beginning of the book, all of their paths are going to cross as they each experience something terrifying. And something that it changes their thinking and the course of their lives forever. And of course, at the end, there are all these different character arcs that are going to come together for something that's just brutal and bloody and out of this world good. I mean, like I said, wait until you read about it. This is just a fantastic, well-told, epic story about these supernatural things. There's an occult angle. There's a serial killer that used to own the murder house, and some of his crimes are going to be discussed in detail, and trust me, they are absolutely disturbing, to say the least. We're going to find out that there's something there that is hungry, something there that wants blood, and it will stop at nothing to get it. And all of these people, they might not be able to save themselves from what's about to come. Yeah, I highly recommend this book. As I said, I absolutely loved it, and there's a link down below where you can pick up your copy right now through Amazon. And next we have A Cold Night for Alligators. This one is coming out early next month, so it's a very short time, and it'll be here for you. There is a pre-order link in the description. And I love this story because this is about epidemiologists, people that work for the Centers for Disease Control. And you don't read a lot about that in horror novels. And I always like when people bring characters from a different perspective or something you don't read about too much. Because it's not just about the story. You're going to learn some things in here about botulism that you might not have known. I was fascinated by the whole thing. I absolutely love that aspect. But this is also a very frightening, terrifying story as well. This is about a strange outbreak in Savannah, Georgia. That might be botulism, it might be something else, but it gets the attention of the CDC. And there's a rogue CDC agent, somebody who's up for a promotion who thinks he's going to get passed over. He's always been kind of a lone wolf, and he feels he's smarter than everybody else, and he wants to go to investigate this on his own without telling the agency about it, because he thinks he can figure it out, and this will ensure him his promotion to the higher management, which is all he really wants. But when he goes there, things are going to fall apart very quickly, because there's an old, abandoned amusement park. And, that's always a creepy situation, but something has taken residence there. Something in the ground that is cursed. Something that, when it was open, this park had a big alligator pit amongst all the other rides and games and things. And this used to cause people to feel a lot of fear and anxiety. And this evil that lives in that ground feeds off of that, and now it's hungry again. And even though the park's been shut down like 15 years, it's going to control and manipulate people to come back. It's going to pull certain people in. It's going to manipulate them to come visit the park because it has evil plans for them. And one of these women is a homeless addict. And she goes there first and she's like the queen of this place, but she discovers a whole mess of heroin that was left behind in an old abandoned aquarium there. And she realizes when she mixes this heroin with the mud from the pit where the alligators used to be, when she mixes that together, it does something else to people. It has an effect on people. Sometimes it's not always good, even though at first it kind of heals them. It can fix broken bones. It can heal scars and really, really weird things, right? But it can also have very, very detrimental side effects. And we're going to find out what happens when this rogue agent tracks down one of the victims to this park. And he's going to go there. There's a couple of YouTubers who do videos on urban exploration and abandoned places. They're going to be kind of pulled there, and we're going to hear about them. And things are going to happen to them. And then you got this agent's bosses who figures out that he's gone rogue, and they don't want to fire him, but they're going to head to Savannah and see if they can track him down, trying to get him back on track and come up with a reason for this strange outbreak that's happening that could turn into a whole epidemic or perhaps even a pandemic if they don't figure it out soon. And in the meantime, this park is luring people in and very evil intentions. This is a very tense, and like I said, the subject matter is something you don't read about a lot in horror books, mixing the scientific uh, uh, disease angle along with the supernatural cursed ground. I really, really like that. It's unique, and it's something you don't read about a lot, and I'm always appreciative when authors do that. But anyway, this one's coming out real soon, and I will leave the pre-order link down below, and I do highly recommend it. And next we have Reanimated Rex. This one's a blast. This one's a fun book. Imagine if Jurassic Park was written by Wes Craven. And you're going to kind of get the idea of this one. Again, it's about an abandoned amusement park that had a dinosaur theme. They had all these big, huge, life-size replica statues, very detailed, made for this park. But it has been abandoned for a long time. However, that doesn't mean it's empty. That doesn't mean it's safe to go inside. Hey, let me just say this. If you love dinosaur horror that is bloody, that is supernatural, that's exciting and full of action and suspense, you are going to love this book as much as I did. Because it's got all of that in there. It's got all the elements of a slasher book, but it's just with these animatronic dinosaurs that have supernaturally come to life, and we're going to find out about that, and about the former owner who kind of figured out how to do this and what his intentions are when people trespass in his park. It gets violent and it gets bloody, and as a group of friends go in there trying to look for a missing brother of one of them. And once they get in, they realize that they cannot get out. Something has changed about the park, and they're now trapped inside. They got these living, breathing, huge dinosaurs coming after them, ready to rip the flesh right off their bones. And it's just great. It's full of action. It's full of suspense. It's full of blood. Dinosaur horror at its finest, and of course I can't do anything except highly recommend it. And that one is a pre-order, but again, there is a pre-order link in the description, so you should definitely get on that now, because this one's just fantastic. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.